F. It's a developing F. It's a soon to become a full F for.
It's a developing F for the developers.
Yes.
You didn't even realize you did that, did you?
Hello there, everybody, and welcome back to day 2 of the Hearts of Iron 4 5-year multiplayer. My name is Josh. I'm the community manager for Hearts of Iron 4, and I'm joined once again by Alex, the community ambassador. Say hello, Alex.
Hello, Alex. Sorry, I had to get that joke in. How are you doing today, Josh?
I'm doing very well. We are back for another 5 hours of Hearts of Iron 4 action, and chat, there have been some alterations to the game. If you were here yesterday and you watched the first part of the stream, you may remember that Team Poland, one of our 4 teams of influencers from all across the world, were rather successful, and they had essentially more or less won, really, at the end of the session. They were about to capitulate the Soviet Union and Team Denmark, and that would have been 2 teams basically out of action, and the others would have been very, very weak by comparison. So if we can flip over to the game map, we can show you around some of the changes we've made to try and rebalance things, as it were. So the first change, all of Africa here, or large parts of Africa, have been confiscated from Germany and assigned to nationalist Togo, which is played by the observer computer, or the host computer rather, and so won't take part in the game. That's just sort of empty territory now. There's now a white peace between the Soviet Union, and well, rather Team Denmark and Team Poland. So the Turkey and Soviet and India team will have some time to recuperate. They also own all of that land as well. And there's been an industry rebalancing, essentially due to the very sort of, I don't want to say gamey, but like very, well, actually, gaming strategies that the Team Poland team used yesterday. They
well
were
thought out strategies.
Well thought out strategies, yes. They had a huge industry lead. And so to try and make today interesting, make it a spectacle, we have rebalanced the industry to make Team Denmark and Team Poland closer. So they can have that titanic battle in the Eastern Front we've all been waiting for. And then also have Australia now. So Daniel, as you may remember, was playing as Spain, and we had Victor as Portugal. Victor, I believe, is now co-oping in the UK with Bratin as our Team Paradox devs, and Daniel is now playing Australia. It's a beefed up Australia. We've given them some extra factories, some extra dockyards, and they're going to be able to maybe have some influence over here on the victory states in the east here in southern China, and I've forgotten where the other one is. Down here, Indochina. So they might have some submarine warfare going on. They've also got some troops and some equipment. So they'll be able to do some damage, potentially. And I think that's mostly it. We did add some equipment to some of the Dominion states to make up for the fact that they didn't have their armies at the start of yesterday's session. And we're doing sort of a reset here. It was generally acknowledged by the teams yesterday that Team Poland had effectively won the first round, as it were. They were going to be victorious if we let the game play out as it was. And of course, we have 5 hours of stream today, so we didn't want a 5-hour procession where one team just wins. That's not quite what we're looking for, and I'm sure that wouldn't be quite as interesting for you guys to watch. So it's all up for grabs now, Alex. Who do you think might have the edge this time around with the balanced up economies and that kind of thing?
I think whoever comes out of the the American Thunderdome, so to speak, we've got the very even combat that was happening all day yesterday over there. I reckon whoever can come out of that on top might have a chance of destabilizing the power battle that's going to be happening in Europe. And we could see a complete change of who the leaders are as soon as that starts happening. There is a victory state completely uncaptured as well over there. Cuba hasn't been taken at all, so there's some points up for grab. And if someone can just start sniping away Team Poland's victory scores, they might sway it in their favor. The Team Turkey, I believe, already have about 40. So if they could grab Cuba, they have some capitals. If they ended up taking out Team Russia,
yes,
they would start. The point values wouldn't be insignificant, and Team Poland might be dipped from their top pole position.
Yes. So if you're in chat and you've not didn't watch yesterday and you don't know what we're talking about when we talk about points and victory states, if we could have the graphic on screen showing the victory states around the world, that would be ideal. So they're not just competing the players to win outright. They're competing to control a set of very specific victory states spread throughout the world. So as you can see here, they are really quite widely geographically spread. Down there, there's 3 down there in the Southeast Asian area that Australia might be able to get its hands on, and then a bunch in Europe and across into the Americas as well. So it's not just about winning; it's about winning in the right places and controlling the correct victory states at the end of the game.
Yes, and it's all to play for up until the final whistle and the end of play today in just under 5 hours' time.
Okay.
So and without really let the game go.
Yeah. Without further ado, let's get going. Oh, I tried to do it. And it's not.
I have to do it. Yeah.
You have to do it on your computer.
And I just tried to.
Underway. It's August 1914. So yeah, Australia. It was really quite beefy. They have 46 dockyards now. Because they do start with basically no navy. They have 2 destroyers, so it will take them some time for Daniel to build up that force into a strong thing. He's going for destroyers early on and some bombers and some guns. So we'll see if Australia can develop a large and powerful navy to try and challenge the Japanese and Dutch East Indies. And meanwhile, the truce here will continue between Team Denmark and Team Poland. These are the remnants of a British naval invasion, which began at the end of yesterday's stream, just being mopped up by the Germans. Nothing too much about it. They did occupy Berlin still, and no doubt they're probably like their last standing, the guys in Berlin, which you love to see. But they are going to be mopped up eventually. They can't hold out forever against these.
They're holding out pretty well, to be fair.
They are.
So, something that's quite funny I've just noticed on the host computer on our great nation of Togo, we have Dankus's templates. So because of who we were owned by previously, we seem to have Dankus's templates, and if I did decide to build anything, I could come out with the 20 killer battalions that we saw walk over Europe.
You could indeed.
Which I think would be interesting.
So chat to explain a little bit about what happened yesterday. If you're wondering why Team Poland was so dominant, there are a couple of things they did that were clever and perhaps were not entirely within the spirit of the rules we originally devised. They first of all they had the Anschluss happen very, very early on by producing loads and loads of low equipment divisions to get their deployed manpower up. So that helped them out very early on, and then they could get the war. They made advantage of the guarantees, so they could get Romania and the Czechs and Yugoslavia all in one war together, which meant they locked down this whole area very quickly. And also, they released a lot of nations as puppets that didn't previously exist. There are lots of African nations, and because they all get their own focus trees, their industry went berserk, and that's why Germany ended up with such a huge number of military factories compared. I think they were sort of like twice the level as the Soviet Union in military count. And we've rebalanced that for the second session, so it should hopefully be quite interesting. So I think things have changed, Martelli. We've had a peace, a 6-month white peace will happen between the Soviets and Germany. So they can declare war on each other from March 41, and we've more or less rebalanced things. So we get another 5 hours of fun gameplay today, and not a sort of procession where Poland just goes around stomping everyone into oblivion. And we end up with like a Germany world conquest.
I mean, they do have Rome, so if they wanted to hold some triumphs, they could start proceeding through
yes,
Rome.
This is true.
And we all actually do see battle plans here for Turkey. Do Turkey have troops out?
They have no troops currently. They're building some troops. They do have some equipment, and they do have a rebalanced industry. They had very, very few mills, and they have 40 now. So they'll be able to get something out. The Team Poland do still have a larger industry by about 40 factories. They have 40 mills more than Team Denmark, and they have a much bigger civilian economy. So in time, the advantage that the Team Poland has built up has not been completely taken away from them, but they are still ahead there. But it's more close now. So we should get an interesting conflict between these two teams. So lots of factory construction from Torior. On Team Poland's side, the Bulgarians are the ones that are going to really up their industry count because Germany's getting strap bombed. I saw Banzai, which I'm assuming is Japan related.
Japan, or
which is probably in Canada.
They're pushing pretty close to Washington there.
They haven't.
Is that the
they
door?
haven't pushed
New York
massively
and
yet.
Newark.
They were on this line roughly yesterday. They may have taken these two potentially, but not a huge
missed
amount has changed.
The very end of the stream purely because I was required for other tasks. But so I don't know the ins and outs of the American campaign.
It's been just quite a long, slow, grinding war basically between the US and Canada/Japan.
What is the air like over here? That's something I'm interested in.
So-
America or the
bits and
I
pieces?
know. I remember that Team Russia weren't building many planes, and I was expecting to see a Japanese domination of the skies, and we are kind of seeing that.
Well-
Look at the close air, 900 close air support in Toronto, in Ottawa.
Yeah. Canada went very hard into planes. I know that much. They've got lots of artillery and guns sitting around as well. They went very hard into CAS, I believe. Yeah, 16 factories on CAS. So they are able to do quite a lot of damage where they want it. I think the US appear to have probably more fighters. Let me see if the Japanese have got anything over here. So I try and press the right button. Yeah, they got
going on as well,
some
apparently.
fighters. Is there? Oh, there is.
Yeah, Bratton is losing. Oh no, my hometown has been taken by the Dutch. How could you?
Oh, yeah, he's in trouble here. They've taken Dover.
They've taken Dover.
And now
That's a
Norwich.
good port, and yeah,
Where was his fleet? Oh, he's at fuel. Oh,
The
he's at
fuel-
fuel.
the subs did enough to get fuel, and now
Because he has a massive
tanks
fleet,
have
but
arrived.
it makes no
The
difference.
tanks have arrived.
Fuel.
See, Bratton was holding fine, and then we put Victor in his team, and suddenly everything's going pear-shaped, so I'm going to blame Victor.
He needs to move some of these troops.
Does he realize?
He must realise.
He must realize.
He must
Surely.
realise.
What?
There goes
There
Chile.
he goes.
I mean, now that they've landed, like there's just no way because those tanks are gonna slice through his
The
infantry.
only thing what I would do, I'd be in Scotland right now, setting up a naval invasion for Dover. Just sea lion, the sea lion. He's not reacting to this.
He took these guys all off their infantry orders, but he hasn't moved them yet. I mean, what is his? I mean, these aren't great. These are colonial divisions.
The
Australia
Tanzanian.
has joined their 12 width base infantry. It's not great. Australia has joined the war on their side, but Australia is a long way away and has no troops at all.
How's their navy looking now?
Submarine construction now going on. They're very low on manpower, which is their big restraining factor. Trying to put strat bombers as well, Australians. But I'm not sure how
Oh, London's encircled.
they can deal with this because the tanks are going to slice through their divisions.
Yikes. It's not looking good for Team Dev.
Well, no, but the devs were only there to shake things up anyway. To be fair to the devs,
It's true. And the
you-
longer Bratton and Victor can hold out here is the more troops that are committed over this front for when the war does erupt again in Europe.
Yeah, so if you don't know, chat, we added the devs in as a sort of a last minute thing. They picked their nations at the end of the draft, so all the best picks that you might consider had already gone, like Germany and USSR and USA and so on.
Oh, just,
there
there
goes
was
London.
40 divisions in that pocket around London.
Yep. And so we threw the devs in there to just sort of cause some trouble and disrupt some of the players' plans, which they did down in Japan and as the UK. But
So,
now, yes,
yeah,
getting
going back
hammered.
to Team Poland.
F. It's a developing F. It's a soon to become a full F for
It's a developing F for the developers.
yes.
You didn't even realize you did that, did you? What's the template of the Dutch Marines that dropped in? Because there's also Bulgarian troops there, so there's 3 players all getting a slice of the pie there.
So we have Dutch Marines.
Yeah, they were the first to land, and they're the ones that made the breakthrough.
There goes Tanatuva, the most important capitulation of the entire game. We should do a multiplayer where we just have like all the meme states as the victory points, like Bhutan and Tanatuva.
Yeah.
Like, the whole world must battle for Tanatuva. So yeah, artillery and
or we
marines.
get the best players from around the whole world to all just play those nations, and they have to take the same victory points. So we have to see like Nepal take Berlin, just like show me what you can do. I want to see Bhutanese heavy tank divisions crawling through the streets of Paris.
So yeah, pushing up to Newcastle now. They've got divisions here, but they're just not going to be able to. I mean, it's very. They've got 27 in one province, and then not that amount elsewhere. And they're being pinned, and there goes the UK. And it's also Spain, Portugal, and British Malaya. So quite a big peace conference here for Team Poland to deal with.
So there we have it. Bulgaria taking 93 states. Yikes. So yes, those places I mean. So there is British Honduras, with Belize City, giving them a foothold in Mexico. There's obviously British Guyana and the Suriname and French Guyana. Australia has dismantled their faction. Daniel is going alone.
There is no team for him now. His allies have gone. It's just Daniel.
Yesterday it was Bratin saying, "Game bugged, my allies have died," and now it is Daniel going it alone.
Hello.
Hello, Daniel.
Hello.
So as you can see, my teammates might have slightly disappeared ahead of time.
Yes.
As a Swede, it hurts. But could I join Team Denmark?
Ooh.
I
Should we leave it to chat? We'll put a poll in the Twitch chat.
Okay.
Should Daniel join Team Denmark? Should Australia join the Soviet Union, India, and Turkey to help the defense against the European bloc that is Team Poland?
I'll allow us to have a poll.
We'll have a poll. So, chat, hold your horses. We'll be bringing a poll up. And then you guys will have the chance to decide. If not, Daniel, your other option is war against the world. Do wreak as much havoc as you possibly can.
Yeah, I can try that too. But I would like to see something from the war as well. It might be interesting. Have a viewpoint while I just build up submarines.
Okay, chat, you can vote. We'll allow the people to decide. If he does though, it's mandatory that you make fun of him for being on Team Denmark's side.
Yeah. I already
have to make that clear. That's the price. That's the price that Daniel is willing to pay to fight the Team Poland is to be in Team Denmark.
I have to join Bokoen. It's like how, but
we'll vote on the poll chat.
We'll rename Team Denmark to the Kalmar Union, and you can suffer.
Oh no, not anything but that.
Oh yes, we should definitely do that.
I withdraw my request.
Can we see the faction map mode? Of course you can.
You can indeed. So we have Greater East Asian Carry Prosperity Sphere. That is Team Turkey. Their name changed when Japan formed it. Took the focus to form the faction. That's Team Turkey, and then Team Russia is USA, Mexico, and South Africa. Team Poland is Germany, Bulgaria, and the Netherlands, and all their many puppets. Team Denmark is Soviet Union, India, and Turkey, and their many puppets. And then we have down here, probably soon to be Team Denmark, but currently not in a faction. And there was a battle going on up here. We saw Team Russia.
Yes, we saw some tanks have been put on that border.
Bit of a breakthrough here from the Japanese.
Yeah, those Japanese tanks, finally, they've been getting their supply after slapping the US Navy. Finally got their oil in. So they've got a few days of this. They're continuing to break through right now. Those US Marine... Okay, this portion of the border is heavily guarded by Mexican troops, but we saw how well those Marine units did the other day, especially with the amount of rivers that go through the USA, because a lot of people forget, but Marines aren't just for naval landings. They have bonuses on attack and defense with river crossings. So, who have we been joined by? It's Daniel.
So they allowed me to join the faction.
Lovely.
But I don't have communist support.
Did they impose any terms on you to allow you in?
No. They were
No.
glad to accept my submarines.
Wow, that's Bo
Are
being
you saying
very
you
very
physically
generous. There.
can't join though because you're not communist?
Exactly.
Right,
Okay.
because the faction hasn't got ideological. Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
We can fix that in the next break.
Yeah.
If
Cool.
need be.
Awesome.
Just take this as your setup period then.
Yeah.
Cool. Lovely.
So yeah, it's been a really sort of long-lasting front line there in the North USA here. It will be interesting to see if, well, presumably the Japanese can push through and capitulate the US, because that would be quite significant if they could. Because like you say, they grab the US, they'll get, is it 30 points for capturing capitals, I think, if I remember correctly? And then 30 points for here, and 30 points for the Mexican capital, and then the Cuban victory state.
Is 10.
And then, they can potentially head down into what they already own Brazil and they already have Liberia. So they get some sizable points if they can break through and capitulate the US.
Not to mention they border the states over the victory states quite a lot in Asia. They have New Zealand, North Island, but the two Team Poland states of South Indochina and Nanning are currently right on the doorstep of Team Turkey, I believe. Oh no, Team Turkey have Nanning.
Team Turkey have Nanning. Southern
they-
Indochina is on Team Poland, and no one has tried to take that off them yet, which I imagine we will see, because I shouldn't think that they have that many troops over here. There's obviously a couple of puppet divisions, one of which is doing a naval invasion into British Malaya at the moment on its own accord. Oh no, they're allies now. Okay, they're just
German Malaya.
It's German Malaya. It just has the same color for some reason.
It's the one that never changes, is Malaya. Oddly.
So that's the way it is here. Australia, of course, they can grab North Island, which is currently under Japan's control, and then they've got these two, which are potentially in range of their submarines and troops. Germany, of course, gearing up for its invasion of the USSR, which I believe they can now declare. It's now March 41.
Yeah, it would be allowed to.
Russia has.
No,
troops
it'll
deployed.
be 1st of May, I think, won't it?
It was August at the start of the game. It was a 6-month truce. August is.
Yeah, they would. They were in month
March.
7. So yeah.
Yes, I thought I'd done my month calculations wrong then.
Yeah.
Soviet troops
I
along here.
matched incorrectly.
Big infantry guys, and they do have some tanks.
Yeah, there is.
7,000 deficit of heavy tanks at the moment. They put 125 factories on just on heavy tanks.
Ooh, what design company did they pick for their heavy tank? What does that give them? I just saw that they've got one. The OKMO.
Yeah, heavy tank designer.
Gives it better armor and better heavy attack. Nice. That's a good choice. How's their air? This is going to be... I feel like the air war is going to be really...
Yeah, so we're looking at 1.9 thousand CAS on the Soviet side. Absolutely no fighters, so I'm assuming they're getting them from someone else. Germany has 3.4 thousand fighters, a tiny bit of CAS. So Germany just trying to stop their CAS from doing anything. I wonder if Soviets have fighters from Turkey, perhaps?
Turkey or India.
Maybe it's India.
I'm looking forward to seeing those fights because obviously
1.6 thousand fighters from India here. So I would say the Soviets have the advantage, but of course they'll be shot down a lot by German fighters.
And we've got to remember that the German divisions have a lot of AA.
Yeah, and of course there's no Britain now, so there's no strap bombing of Germany going on, which is a big help to the German player.
Absolutely.
Other than that, things are fairly... How are we current wars, actually? They're only been missed. So there's just the Japanese and American one and the Indian-Nepali war. Is this just... Yeah, it's just Nepal. It's Indian troops trying to get rid of Nepal here. Nice mountains to push through. They are going to make it eventually, but yeah, mountains are not ideal. Nepal's got quite a lot of divisions out, actually.
Well, because we're getting into March 1941, and we've had 100% world tension since about 1937.
Yeah.
So
So Nepal has an army of 135,000 men. Would you ever believe that Nepal will be fielding several full corps?
no.
And what is their core population? 6 million. Oh, that's quite high actually. It's higher than I thought it was. Same as like Bulgaria's is at the start of the game. Just been making lots of guns since 36. Meanwhile, back in the US, still not a lot happening. The front lines are still really static. They have not moved at all here. The US desperately trying to make sure that they can't push through there. And
I'm surprised we haven't seen a naval invasion from the US to try and get behind that force that's now in New England.
There's one set up here, but it has no divisions assigned to it currently.
Well, it's what I would be doing is I would be trying to station. I would be using this downtime. I'd be trying to set up production for Amtrak tanks, something that will smash through into those ports and hit all of the ports from Boston up to above Ottawa.
Yeah.
Really cut them off, really choke that supply, and then you can think about pushing back, because you've got a lot of troops on that border, and that's been the main war. The main feature of this war is Japan have been timing their the Team Turkey have timing their assaults for when they have the supply, and they've been doing it really well and just taking those little bits of land. And if the Team Russia can counter that by taking those ports, cutting them off, removing their naval advantage, which Team Turkey currently have,
yeah,
that will swing this completely differently.
So yeah, Turkish troops, yeah, Team Turkey troops, Canadian in the game, are pushing through here. There's more pings further south. Do we have a naval invasion somewhere? We know we have convoy raiding. Interesting. Okay, so what's happening here? We have Mexican convoys being convoy raided by Japan. So Mexico. It's got quite a lot of supply routes that are running down this way into the South Georgia Sea, coming from South Africa. So I think it's going to have to be a naval invasion in some way, because this front line here is just not going to move quickly enough to get a decisive result by itself. The Japanese are able to push here, but not particularly quickly, and they're going to want a naval invasion, I would think, maybe on the west coast or on the east, to just then dislodge. This just seems like impossible. There's so many US divisions in this area. 17 in New York alone. So delivered since March 41, 10,000 guns. So they're being fed these really good guns by Bulgaria.
Bulgaria's providing the industry basically, whilst Germany puts out the.
Germany's trying to conquer Ireland. Yeah, Germany is just tanks and aircraft, and that's it. So all of their guns are coming from Bulgaria. As they attack Ireland and call their 1,000 puppets in. Yeah, close air support fighters, motorized, 140 on medium tanks almost, and some medium tank destroyers as well. Ireland, of course, will be swiftly dispatched, I imagine, by the Dutch troops attacking. Come on, Ireland, you can do it.
That's actually a very small amount of troops for 1941 Ireland at this sort of level.
Only 2,000.
I always find that Ireland just always has an abundance of military. No.
Yeah, only 72k.
My ancestral homeland now feeling the wrath of Bulgaria and the Netherlands.
Yeah. We looked at Kindies. We looked at Soviet's air power a second ago. They have a lot of CAS in short.
Yes.
2.1 thousand CAS. India is providing the fighters for the Team Denmark. Germany has a lot of fighters, not much CAS. I'm not sure if Bulgaria, I wouldn't think, has any. No, there's no fighters. So they're just going for fighters, it seems, unless the Dutch have some CAS. So I'm looking at the wrong screen, but no.
I don't think so.
This will be easy enough for Germany, or for the Dutch rather. How are we doing navally on this side? So the US has 178 ships. They've still got a fair amount. 13 battleships still going. Lots of destroyers.
Carriers.
Only 3 carriers though. Yeah. Japan, on the other hand, has
5
more.
carriers.
5 carriers, less battleships, but more carriers, and has more overall ships. So it's fairly evenly matched, but you might say the Japanese have the advantage, particularly with those carriers. They've less destroyers though.
Kida Butai is just gonna dominate, and the thing is, they're using the close air support to naval bomb.
Battleships here being caught by submarines, but they are being escorted by destroyers. Convoy one got sunk, but they're trying to get away. Oh, that sub just got smashed by those destroyers.
Interestingly, I'm interested to see what sort of statistics people's generals have got at this point in the game, because there's been a lot of combats all over the globe. So it'd be nice to see if they're invested in upgrading their generals or if they're upgrading their admirals. Because I just noticed Nimitz there hadn't had much given to him in upgrades wise, and a lot of people always forget that they can upgrade their admirals now as well. The USA apparently has lost some carriers, according to Mordred. He must have spied that. But I would say yes, if they're down to 3. Is the US producing any carriers, any more navy? What's it?
As we have Chinese provocation on the Japanese, we'll see what happens there. I'm assuming. Oh, China doesn't exist, so
Yeah.
there won't be a war there.
It does. It's a puppet. It does. It's a puppet.
It's a puppet, is it? Okay.
Of India. It's above. Yeah. China is in where Mongolia.
Well, they could go to war if they wanted. I wouldn't recommend it. But so US is building cruisers and subs. But yeah, I was just going to say, you mentioned Mordred, like casting with Mordred yesterday, and he's talking about the naval stuff. I feel like I'm learning like so many things about the naval game.
Yeah,
he knows so many things about the ships and what to look for and what's important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just if you ever want to learn Hearts of Iron 4 Navy, check out Mordred's channel because he has a massively in-depth guide of it. It's how I learned the Navy, was talking and working with him. Like he's just got the mind for it. He just understands the Hoy Navy. It'd be interesting to see actually how much shipping is being sunk. So if you go over to the US and we have a look at go into the naval panel, and just go see older. Let's see how many.
So 1,300 convoys have been sunk by the US. They only lost 331. So they're actually trading well there. Recently, they're losing quite a few. 48 actually last month. That's quite a lot.
Yeah.
68 this year. They haven't sunk any. So they're taking some losses. They're down to just 57 available, which is not great. But then again, the US supply lines aren't as crucial as Japan's are because they're defending their own territory.
That's what I'm thinking. How much of those convoys is the precious black gold of oil that is coming to support this Japanese invasion force?
Yeah, so let's look at Japan's losses, actually. That'll be the most instructive. They've got 224 free, so quite good.
Submarines, though, last month. Yes, that's a massive loss. Look at that. The US has lost 3 carriers there and 40 submarines to the Japanese 15.
Yeah, I have everything. So recently, Japan has lost 15 subs on the Japanese side. It's sunk 37 light holes recently, only 2. So Japan has been doing probably a bit better.
Yeah, look at the last month there. 15 subs to 40.
Yeah, this is
as well as 3 carriers. Yeah, the Japanese Navy really coming out on top now. No carriers to 3 carriers. No cruisers to 6 cruisers. Yeah, America took a massive hit there. What's their production like? Are they trying to get more Navy out, or are they just beset in giving up on the naval game?
Convoys and cruiser submarines are what Japan is going for.
Yeah. What about the US? Are they trying to get more carriers out? Because I
believe it was cruisers, convoys, and subs. No carriers being built. But yes, there's been a substantial shift towards the Japanese navally in the last 2 months.
Really good work from Team Turkey there.
Nepal have invaded parts of gone on the offensive over here.
Nepal's on the offensive.
Which you love to see.
Sorry, college. I'm gonna keep.
I mean,
calling
I'm
them
assuming this
over.
is deliberate because he wants them to come out of the mountains and then he
Yeah,
can
I
cut
think
them
he's
off
trying to
properly.
pull them. Yeah, I think he's.
But
trying
yeah, it's quite interesting to put on the offensive in Tibet.
Are those Indian tank divisions trying to push into the mountains as well?
Yes.
Oh, no, hang on. Hover over that armored template. I think it's mostly cavalry.
Let's see. Yes, cavalry and tank. To be fair, like cavalry are not that bad.
No.
Like they're not as good as motorized, obviously, but they're not that bad. Like if you can't produce motorized, which I'm assuming India isn't because they don't have the industry for it really. Producing cavalry, having cavalry and tanks, it's not the end of the world. Like they can do you a job, when you need them to, particularly in secondary fronts.
Dear Lord.
Simara Regis or Regis. So what happened was because it was sort of very clear at the end of yesterday's stream that Team Poland were going to defeat Team Denmark, and they were about to, and would be in a unassailable position for the rest of the game. We rolled things back a bit and we balanced the economies between Germany and the USSR, and now we're sort of having a round two after Team Poland sort of won the opening exchange there.
Yeah, we gave day one to Team Poland as the clear winners, so they have essentially a win. But now we're testing to see if they can hold on to their win, if any of the other teams can nab more points, basically.
Yes, I've been told to look at Burma. We have Cape Common. We have South African troops landing, and I have to go over to here and control click on them.
Oda's army, is it not? He's been drilling this for a long time, and he's almost at the capital of Siam there.
Yeah, it's for Voda,
He's also communist. He was like 80% fascist in his nation earlier. Now he's like full communist.
So this is Team Russia attacking. This is Team Denmark, right? No, this is Team...
Oh, it's Team Turkey. This is
Turkey.
This is a new front for the America conflict.
I keep forgetting like which team is which. It's like it's Japan, so therefore it's Team Turkey.
Yeah.
But yeah, pushing in here, Siam as well, getting overrun, and then they're not far from here. If they want to go to war with Team Poland and nab southern Indochina, they'll be in a good position to do so.
Well, if they can go up through Burma there, and there aren't enough troops sent in response, they can nab Nanning, which is a victory point, in the hands of Team Turkey. Also, the more of this land they grab, the harder the supply lines get for Japan because they're cutting off their resources.
Yeah.
What is South Africa's navy, by any chance? Just have they gone for like a death stack of destroyers or something?
Submarines and a few destroyers, basically.
So they snuck this over. There was just the Japanese navy wasn't here. There's only 10 odd.
Oh yeah, Japan's navy is busy basically. It's been deployed very much as I try and
offensive.
So it is I assume convoy escorting here. If I try and find which group it is, yeah, we've got convoy escorts. We have a lot of more convoy raiding over here actually, and all the way through the Atlantic being convoy raided as well. As we have a naval invasion, massive naval invasions actually. We didn't see this coming.
No, there's
so we got invasions.
Troops landed. Massive amount of Brazilian troops have landed.
There are port
America is starting to respond, but they have managed to get a foothold in Florida. This could be a big breakthrough if the Brazilian forces there can close those gaps. Something to be interesting to look at. What's the espionage like between some of the factions? Are there any?
That's a good thing to look at. Let's have a look. So we have start off with the Soviets.
Yeah, let's see what the Team Denmark and Team Poland are, if they're spying on each other.
So naturally spying on each other. Do we have cryptology? We do have cryptology. Germany has been decrypted by the Soviets, and Bulgaria is currently being worked on. Get pinged. So on the German side, we then have what? Nothing. We have zero agency work at all. So the Soviets will just have that ability to decrypt their opponents when they please. Other players, Bulgaria. Are they spy master?
I reckon
Yes.
Bulgaria. I reckon Toriel spy master. Let's face this.
So yeah, Toriel is preparing a collaboration government on the Soviets and doing a lot of spying on them. They have cryptology. They have the Soviets decrypted, but crucially Germany doesn't. So the bonuses won't apply to the German units, only to the Bulgarian ones. And they are decrypting a Turkish at the moment. Got a fair few upgrades going at the moment. So I assume Turkey doesn't. Yeah, so just one per faction basically. Elsewhere we have who's doing spy mastering for this faction? Then Canada? No, it might be Japan.
It's probably Japan.
Yes, it's Japan. They
the Tora intelligence agent. I'm surprised they're not revealing that for a push.
I'm surprised that they didn't use the decryption on their invasion. I mean, maybe it wouldn't have succeeded.
Well, it was Team Brazil's that it was Brazil that invaded in the south. Remember?
Oh, of course it was. But they were Japanese troops, most of them.
Oh, were they? I thought they were Brazilian.
No, quite a lot of them. I saw some of the samurai sword icons there, so I'm surprised they didn't use this. But maybe they thought it was going to fail anyway with the port defenses that the US had.
Can we get an update on how Daniel's doing? Yes, we can definitely go take a look at Dan over there in Australia. How is his navy looking?
So Daniel has 77 submarines. 40 of them are level 3, and some earlier ones as well. That's it. That's his whole navy.
Are potent. Can we see what the build of them's like? Have they gone radar, or have they gone for the?
So what he's building is this. So we have snorkels on, and level 3 torpedoes. So his torpedo is 79 torpedo attack, which is pretty.
Do you call it a snorkel?
Yeah,
is that what they're called?
So that's what they're called.
I swear they're a periscope, though. The snorkel is what you wear when you're diving for breathing, right?
No. A periscope is you put it up and you can see around you.
Yeah.
A snorkel is the thing that puts air into the diesel engine underwater because it's about breathing, isn't it?
Oh right. Okay. I actually didn't know that. I've learned something. I always just thought that was just like a new form of periscope was what we were researching.
Jack, get a load of this guy.
This was like a snorkel. Why would they got a snorkel?
I call it a snorkel. Because it allows the engine to breathe. It's a different thing to the periscope. Although I imagine they operate at comparable depths, but yeah, so the diesel engine can run underwater, and so the boat can travel faster underwater without having to use its electric batteries.
And this is why you run a YouTube channel about the history of World War II, and I focus a lot on the navies. I would be awful at it.
So we do actually need to end because it's time for a break, actually. So yes, just before I go, chat. You may not be familiar with me if you're just watching a Hoy stream for the first time, but I'm Josh. I've been the community manager for Hoy for about a year or so, just coming up to it. And this is literally my last action as the Hoy CM. I'm about to finish my last casting stint because I'm not back later on because due to the schedule. And so this is me leaving the job that I've done for a year and leaving Paradox after being here for 2.5 years. So thanks for having me, I guess, guys. And I'll see you around.
Can we have some salutes in chat for Josh, who has been providing us with these events? He's been here in the background for quite a lot of things. So if you took part in the Grand Campaign, if you followed Masters of the Mediterranean, and a lot of the organizing for all of this, he's the brains that started this journey. He's the person also that brought me into Paradox as well. So I have to thank you. So some salutes in chat, some salutes in chat for Josh. Show him some love because
thank you, chat.
Moving on.
It means a lot to me that you salute me like that. I'll be around. Just to loop you in, my other things. I have a YouTube channel that I do where I make videos about history called Historiograph, and I'm going to be doing that full time now. So that's going to be my main focus. So if you want to keep in touch with me or keep up with what I'm doing, find me on YouTube, and it's going to be super fun stuff. But I'll be around hopefully. Hopefully, if you just pressure PDS enough, they'll bring me back to do certain things. So just like bully, just go on the social channel and like bully Alex on the Hoy channel into like bringing me back for stuff. Because he loves to answer all of your tweets and stuff. So
oh yep. That's absolutely. I love talking to you all on. Actually, no, I do love talking to you all on social media.
Yeah, one of the great things about my job is talking on social media to all you guys. So yeah, I'm gonna go now. We're gonna have a 10-minute break. and then we'll be back with the remainder of the stream. But I won't be. So thanks, chat, and thanks, PDX, for letting me be the CM for Hoy for a bit.